Hey there, my dear Scorpios. Happy November and happy early or late birthday. Hopefully, I'll have an amazing month. So, this month I'm going to do something different. We're going to look into the shadows, being that your sign is associated with the death card, judgment, and the tower. So, it's kind of a darker season. So, I'm going to begin by pulling from the In the Shadows deck to get an overall feel for this month for you. Okay, so what do we have? We have Masquerade. Now, I'm going to read this from the book because they're a little bit more in depth than me just telling you. So this is number 15. Let's see what we got. Okay. So it says, when I can't have forever, I will have a minute. When I can't have what I can't have for a minute, I will hold to me for 1 second. And so it says, there is often guilt in taking the mask off Don Juan. The seducer is not a master of love, neither of manipulation. He is the master of the ephemeral, of what is fleeting and brief and transient to the extreme. He is the master of the moment, and as such, he forgot all other kinds of eternity. There is guilt if you care, because you are not building. There is guilt of a loss, because you are not treasuring. There is guilt out of indifference, because when you don't care, you cheat yourself of meaning and value. Sometimes there is guilt in settlement. It's the desire itself and everything leading to pleasure, as if the only pleasure that can be sacred are only those looked at such. The masquerade is a dance. It is a road that goes in circles and ebbs and flows, and always ends with the first light. Before the time comes, hold it tightly. When the time comes, let it go. So, for me, what I'm getting mainly is the masquerade is there could be something in your life that you care about, or that you play the role as if you care about, right? But you're not feeling it on the inside, because to feel is to lose, but also the guilt of not actually investing could be weighing pretty heavy. This reminds me of a time in my life when I kind of went cold to any kind of situation or whatever that brought me any kind of joy or feeling, emotion, anything. And it's kind of what I'm feeling for this is like maybe the Scorpio that I am talking to has been hurt so many times that it's easier to just pretend than to actually really care, or to settle for things that they don't feel anything for, I guess you could say. And with the Queen of Nine of Swords, it's almost like there's a part of you that really wants to care about something. And with the Nine of Swords, it's like it's easier not to, right? Because the care brings on worry and stress and guilt and loss and all of these things. But the Scorpio's nature is not to not care, because Scorpios feel very deeply. And that could be why you're in a place of I don't know how to say it, like trying not to care as deeply about something, or just in general, maybe you've been hurt too much. So only take what resonates with you. That could be just for a specific group, right? So let's get into tarot and see. So the first row is going to be what's hidden in the shadows, what challenges you might be facing this month. Things that may need to be looked at a little bit harder. Okay, and now the next row is going to be your present, and then the row after that will be possible future outcome. Future. Okay. All right. So what I'm getting from these cards is basically, with the first roll being your challenge, right? Is the Two of Swords, the Sun, and the King of Swords. So there's something going on where maybe somebody is masquerading towards you, or it could be maybe not so much the masquerading, just that's the way they are, right? Very much in the ephemeral, like not wanting to commit. Everything's just fleeting, right? And so the challenge is to recognize, like, if this is you, recognize that you're not necessarily happy. You don't see or feel the happiness, right? You're kind of living in a space of just going through the motions. The King of Swords is very intelligent, using the brain, but not much of the heart, right? So the challenge is to recognize places where maybe people, that the reasons why there's blockages is because this person is not being authentic. This person is not thinking from a heart space. This person is only pretending, right, to be happy, or pretending to lead a fulfilled life, right? But they hold a lot of guilt and things like that. So it's either recognizing people around you that are playing a role and you're just not wanting to see it, or this is you separating yourself from the heart space because of past hurt and pain, right? Because the swords usually are very painful route to go on. So maybe this, once you recognize this is going to bring that joy back into your life, whether it's letting this person go or it's warming your heart up again to the idea that in order to fulfill your happiness, or to have a fulfilling life, is to feel things, whether they be dark or not, right? But the truth kind of will set you free. So I don't know if this is a person attached to you or a person just in your environment, right? That they say all the right things, they do all the right things, but you've got this internal knowing that it's not what they say it is, kind of. So the present moment, I think you're starting to see that something has blocked your movement forward. And so this is you taking those blindfolds off and taking like assertive steps towards reclaiming that heart, reclaiming that nurturing emperor side of yourself that can create things, that can have things flow and grow. And in this state, nothing grows, right? So until those masks are removed or the masquerade is let go of, there is no movement. So in the present moment, maybe you are recognizing these things and you're making concerted steps to either tap back into your heart space or to move away from people, places, and things that there's no depth, right? That live in the shallow. And what you don't see coming in the future is, yes, you've been battered, you've been bruised, you've been worn, but this time when you take this step forward, you're going to take your heart with you. You're going to bring back that natural essence of the Scorpio, right? The loving side. And that is going to create a massive change towards your future. I'm going to get some clarifiers, kind of see who's who here, see what's going on for you a little bit deeper. So let's see this challenge. What is this about? Who is this? Okay. Okay. So the lie about this is it's almost like because of lies, deception, deceit, maybe in the past you've just kept going with this. You know, you're like, okay, maybe this cycle hasn't been completed, but it's beaten you up along the process with the Nine of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is a match to the King of Wands, but sometimes it could be a twin flame relationship, or it could be a relationship where it's mostly based on passion. And maybe you've just been going through the motions. Like something has told you something about this doesn't sit right. Something about this is not, you know, what it says it is, right? And even though maybe you've started again, maybe even though, you know, this chapter is wanting to come to a close, but something inside could be telling you like, no, everything's good, everything's fine. I'm still passionate about this. I'm going to keep going. But something is calling you to close this cycle out, because until you do, nothing in your life is going to change for the better. You're going to stay stagnant. And whether that's you being cold and detached and kind of keeping things surface level to keep from getting re-bruised. With the Nine of Wands, to me, this is the definition of insanity. It's like keep going and doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result, right? And so it's almost like you keep going, waiting for the end to come, but it's like, it's almost deceiving yourself into believing that if you just try one more time, things will change. No, it'll just set you back into a new cycle, right? So the challenge is going to be to either let go of somebody or something that's been deceptive to you, that has been surface level. It's been for comfort more so than an actual connection. Or it's you realizing the cycle that you've been on and knowing it's time to be more authentic and open up to the experiences the world has to offer you. Not coming from a place of doing the same thing and expecting a different result, but taking the wand into your own hands and being like, okay, if I want to see change, I have to be the change, right? So it's beautiful. I mean, it's basically the judgment. It's looking yourself dead in the mirror and saying, where am I lying to myself? Am I lying to myself about the people I engage with? Or am I lying to myself about I'm happy, or I'm doing what I want to do, or I'm creating change, you know? And really it's just, even if it looks different, it's still the same cycle that needs to be addressed. So let's see, your present moment, because I do feel there's a partnership that's very important to you, or it's been there for a specific reason, but it hasn't really gone anywhere because it's been stuck in this repetitive cycle of start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, and it's because it doesn't have the depth, right? So what's clarifying is the Strength, the Four of Wands, and the Hangman. This is about having the strength to face yourself, having the strength to look at yourself and really humble yourself, because a lot of times we don't want to look at certain things because if they're different than what we've been living for, then it's basically like realizing like I'm the problem, right? And in order to take the strength, you have to humble yourself to look and say, yeah, maybe I have been doing this over and over and over again. Maybe I haven't been feeling secure, stable, whatever, up until this point. But now I'm going to look at myself in the mirror and take a moment to really turn things upside down and say, hey, I need to have a new perspective on this, because maybe I'm not as happy as I've pretended to be. Maybe what I've been going after for so long really isn't what's meant for me, or it's not what's for my highest good, right? So it's like having the strength to look at yourself and realize, like, if you want a Four of Wands, if you want a true commitment, if you want something to prosper and grow, it's making the change happen, right? But also seeing where you've played a certain role and where another person possibly has played another role, and then making a clear and decisive decision to change it and to move forward, so that way you're not stuck and going back and forth in between, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So this is where I think the acknowledgement of it comes in. This is where like that inner reflection happens of, if I'm an empress, I know better than to give to situations that are going to put me in a loop of insanity. In order to grow something, I have to change parts of myself that may be comfortable. I may have to step outside of my comfort zone and look at things from a different perspective. So now let's look at the projected future for this. Okay. Now this is where the work comes in, right? This is where everything that you're learning in the present moment is put into practice. Because what I've got is the Knight of Cups, the Eight of Coins, and the Ten of Cups. This is you recognizing that when you go forward from this point on, you're going to do it with love and excitement and possibility. You're going to put in the work to whatever needs to go, let it, to whatever needs to change it, so that you can embrace and feel the happiness, right? Because a lot of people will say, oh, I'm happy, but they don't have the Ten of Cups, they've got the Five of Cups. So that's where the masquerade comes in, right? So it's like making sure that the steps you make from here on out are towards a brighter future, and bringing your heart with that, because without the heart, you're not going to feel it. You can have Ten of Cups all day, or things that could be perceived as the Ten of Cups, but you don't recognize it because your heart isn't involved. So this is where you're making the hard choices. This is where you're actually putting in the work. This is where you're creating the change. And that's why the Wheel of Fortune is here, because it's going to bring prosperity, luck, happiness. Once either the person that's masquerading gets weeded out and you're addressing that, or it's you that have been just going through the motions because somebody else's happiness is more important, or not wanting to let things go because of a certain amount of love that you have for them and the hope that things will change. But nothing's going to change unless we make it. So it looks really beautiful. I think there's an awareness coming, an aha moment, some kind of enlightenment on a situation, whether that be to reopening your heart or to be letting go of things that are pretending, right? So the next thing I'm going to pull is the Rebel deck. And if you are familiar with the Rebel deck, they can be a little cutthroat sometimes, and they do have cussing. So if you don't enjoy that type of thing, fast forward a little bit. Let's see, because then I'm also going to do a love card and a moonology. So let's see. It says, eat your fucking vegetables. Eat some shit made by Mother Nature. So maybe it's getting more healthy. Maybe you've been avoiding the fact that, you know, something about what you've been doing has been unhealthy. And it's like changing those patterns. And what it, as within, so without. So if we're putting bad stuff into our body, you know, that's messing up our vibration on the outside. Now I'm going to pull a love card, see if we can get any info on what's going on with your love life this month. And I hope you guys have an amazing birthday. And if you'd like to continue to see these readings, make sure to like and engage with the videos. So that way you can see the next 6. It says give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. Now, the work could be you making sure that your heart is open and receiving, and you're listening from a place to listen, not of a place to respond. Addressing things that may have been a problem. Now, this could also mean in general in love, right? Give love a chance. Because maybe you're guarded, maybe you've been the wounded warrior, maybe things have not gone well for you. So it's like opening that mind up again to like, I will give a true relationship a chance, whatever it is to you. Now I'm going to close it off with the Moonology and see what we got here. And thank you as always for everything you do for my channel. It's so greatly appreciated. I love my Scorpios. It says emotions are running high, supermoon. So I'm not sure if we have a supermoon this month, but I know we just had one in September. So maybe you've kind of come to some sort of realization already, and this is just confirmation that, you know, your emotions were trying to tell you something and whatever. So I do hope that you've enjoyed this. I do feel you're coming back to self, and this is like your new year, right? This is the celebration of your next year of life. So make it the best year. And yeah, that's what I've got for you, my dear Scorpios. I love y'all so very much. I'm going to pull some charms just to close it completely out. I think I've done it in the other videos. So let's see. I'm going to get letter charms first. That's a little backwards from what I normally do, but we have got the letter J. We have got the letter X. We have got another X. We've got the letter, is that an S? Yes, an S and an M. Now, the other charms, and if I didn't do it in the other videos, then y'all get a little bonus treat for your birthday. I've got a key here. So you're unlocking the happiness that you deserve. There could be travel this month for your birthday with the airplane, or something is moving towards you, possibly to come during winter time or when the snow is out. The feather is just saying that you're divinely guided and protected. And then we've got like a martini drink. That could be somebody offers to take you out. And then I have a little monkey. And for me, this is like that saying, this is, it's like not my circus, not my monkeys. So maybe you need to look at, because a lot of people will say that it's not my circus, not my monkeys, but then they watch what the monkeys do. So, you know, something like that. But anyways, my dearest Scorpios, I love you guys. Have an amazing birthday. And let me know in the comments if it resonated. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.